Good afternoon, everyone. Storm Barry making landfall. Storm cone here, taking it directly into the grow zones of the United States that have been flooded from day one this spring. A majority of the rain is going to follow up the Mississippi River. You've already seen a 19% decline in river barge traffic due to excessive flooding. Here we go, 2.0. Rice crop during its flowering stage is going to be reduced as well during this storm. Young corn emergence going to break during this storm. Not good for agriculture because knee-high by the 4th of July, those plants are going to get flooded and broken. But I guess the USDA was using knee-high by the 4th of July Barbie to give us their forecast of increased production in the United States. And we cover all of these same issues, how agriculture is going to be affected during the Grand Solar Minimum as the intertropical convergence zone shifts and the jet streams also move into new patterns globally. Your food prices up, global output down. Climate revolution, the Grand Solar Minimum. Understand, prepare, adapt, and thrive. The link's in the description box below. All eyes on Storm Barry, just a sliver below hurricane strength, making landfall right now, Louisiana. This is the storm cone track over the next 5 to 6 days. This is going to take it right up into the grow belts again, and that's exactly what we do not need is more flooding in the areas where they're already having delayed planting, no planting due to flooding. Not good. Next 72 hours, that is a bad-looking storm cone. Right over already previously flooded, barely able to work the farm fields, grow zones of the United States. Over here from weathermodels.com, Ryan Maway's site giving us this great graphic here, showing you the track of the moisture going to be following the Mississippi River. This matches right up with NOAA's data. As the landfall takes hold here, it's going to rain out tremendously on the coastal areas, but then you can see precipitation starts to shrink slightly, but then it's still going to reach up into Illinois, Indiana, Ohio as it moves forward through Missouri. There's going to be 3 things that happen during this storm. 1, inland waterway transportation is going to be affected. Now, we've already seen this through the flooding of the spring. Riverboat traffic down 19% due to locks being flooded, debris in the rivers, hazardous navigation conditions. And this is going to add to it because you see that storm track going straight up. Mississippi River flooding yet again. Arkansas flooding yet again. And we can follow the moisture right up. Missouri, Tennessee, Louisiana, Arkansas, and it's going to push further north. But the good news is some of these 14 to 16 inch rainfalls have been downgraded to 10-inch rainfalls. A little bit less than a foot. But during this time, second thing that's going to happen is the rice is coming into its flowering phase right now. And what they're talking about, the rainfall during the middle of this flowering is absolutely going to affect the pollination. And I thought, well, how much rice is flowering at the moment and how much of the rice crop will not be able to be pollinated due to this July 13th to 19th, a quarter of the entire U.S. rice crop is going to be diminished in output itself just due to the lack of flowering and pollination. Downtrending forecast for rice production in the U.S. as well. Taking a look, Indiana, still wet. This is last week, first week of July in the fields, no plant, too wet. And as we march forward here into July 10th, this is after a small flood in the fields. You can see how fragile those plants are, just snapped. Small flood, this much damage. So when you think about 10 inches of rain, how much damage will there be to the new emerged, what they call scrappy emergence from the USDA? And what I mean by scrappy emergence is the left was last year, the right is this year. They're so far behind in the maturation of the plants. Any significant wind, water is going to damage these, snap them, break them. And I thought, well, how many more of these photos are floating around here? This is from Ohio. Same thing. Scrappy emergence. Iowa, scrappy emergence. Yet the USDA couldn't get it together to tell us that we would have decreased corn production this year. They said it was going to increase. Wow, how magic. They must be using Barbie's knee-high on the 4th of July. And what do I mean by that? USDA, well, they need to resurvey 13 states. Because they did such a poor job in that May 28th release. They actually said, even though it's significantly lower, we're going to increase 3% from last year. Wow. Even if they would have scraped through social media, they would have seen that that is not anywhere near true. So where the government has left you high and dry, has lost our trust, insider trading during that time, we should see who made billions on the opposite trades when the USDA released their report magically. Hundreds of thousands of contracts replaced the opposite direction that the entire world was looking for. I'm going to put my own corn report out analyzing crop losses the USDA won't report. I'm going to try to give you as close to the real world conditions that we see across the social media sphere, agriculture websites, seed suppliers, refiners, manufacturers, ethanol producers, and cram it into one report, and I bet I'm going to come out with something completely different from the USDA. Now, why would I spend the time and energy to put out a 100-page corn report? I believe we're being lied to. I believe governments of this world are trying to mitigate panic at the moment. China's down 30 to 35% on its corn production. America down significantly, probably 40%. I'm saying it's all because of an intensifying grand solar minimum that we need to get ready to move agriculture zones, to start indoor vertical agriculture, to replace what's lost outdoors. It's all based on the grand solar minimum. Nobody in government wants to talk about this intensifying 400-year cycle in our sun. I do. I want to prove it through the corn report, show you what's going to happen with the timeline going out, and when my information proves to be more correct than what the government can give you, you should be asking a lot of questions as to why they are not reporting the truth. Thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of the video. Tonight's sponsor is My Patriot Supply, long-term food storage. They have a new 2-week grab and grow food crate as well as a 4-week bucket supply. That link's in the description box below, as well as the link to Climate Revolution, and the corn report will be out this coming week, and I'll see you next video.